Is my story interesting enough? Is there space for me and my experiences? Will I get judged if I share anything too personal? Will anyone care what I have to say? When it comes to sharing your story, it's easy to get swept up in a sea of self-doubt. But what would happen if your voice was silenced altogether? For women with something to say, this is the Everyday Storyteller, and I'm your host, Hilary Solzman, a professional storyteller and long-term advocate of getting more female voices heard in the world. Growing up in the 80s, I witnessed a new sense of female empowerment. Pennies turned into power suits, women took to the streets, once again, demanding equal rights. One of the biggest selling pop artists was female. But despite all the change back then, in the 90s, in the 2000s, women's voices are still underrepresented across so many sections of society. Take podcasting, for example. Only 22% of podcast hosts are female. I'm really proud to be adding to that number. But it needs to get better. Worse still, in some countries, female voices are still being proactively silenced in 2023. It's unbelievable, isn't it? But something to think about when we worry about using our voice, sometimes which we all, here in the UK, thankfully have the right to do without fear of punishment or worse. I've been so inspired by the women I work with, driven by their past experiences and determined to share their knowledge or learn from the tough times they've experienced, turning the negative into positive, life-affirming actions that help others and bring joy and hope to the world. So today, I want you to have a think about how you can use your voice to make a difference. Here are some ideas to get you started. How about sharing a story that celebrates the achievement of another woman that you know? Maybe you could use your platform to talk about a time you overcame a challenge when facing inequality or gender bias and how it made you feel. Why not tell a story about a woman close to you who has inspired you to be who you are now? Share how you help others learn to make their voice count. For example, teaching your children, daughters and sons, about the importance of gender equality, or championing diversity and inclusivity in your business and the people you work with. Whatever your experience, you can use your voice as the power to challenge what's not right and create a more inclusive world for everybody, especially those who don't currently have that right to use their voice. In the words of education activist and Nobel Peace Prize laureate Malala Yousafzai, I tell my story not because it's unique, but because it's the story of many girls. You have that power too. Thanks for listening.